Thank you for joining us on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike with the news. Senate President Bukola Saraki has bowed out of the All Progressive Congress on Tuesday after weeks of speculations and expectations. In a tweet from his official Twitter handle, he said, and I quote, "I wish to inform Nigerians that after extensive consultations, I have decided to take my leave of the All Progressive Congress APC." End of quote. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, a governor of Kwara State, also declared his exit from the APC simultaneously with his boss. The resignation also came amid expectations that the APC would formally expel him and the House of Representatives Speaker, Mr. Yakubu Dogara, from the party. Nigeria's ambassador to South Africa, Ahmed Ibeto, has resigned and also defected to the People's Democratic Party from the All Progressive Congress, according to the zonal vice chairman of the APC from the Zone C in Niger State, Yahya Abdullahi. He says officials issued the former deputy governor with the membership card of the party. Ibeto, who was the former deputy governor of Niger State under the administration of Muazu Babangida Aliyu, resigned on Monday after he arrived from Pretoria on Sunday. Still on party matters, the All Progressive Congress has queried Senate President Bukola Saraki and given him 48 hours to explain why disciplinary actions should not be taken against him for violating the party's constitution. In a resolution signed by its National Secretary, Maila Boni, the APC accused Dr. Saraki of breaching Article 21 of its constitution and engaging in anti-party activities. Among several other allegations, the APC claimed that the Senate President encouraged and facilitated an enabling environment for the defection of some senators who were members of the APC to the other opposition parties. It also claimed that Dr. Saraki deliberately refused to screen nominees for appointments submitted by Mr. President who were members of the party. The People's Democratic Party has welcomed the resignation of the Senate President Bukola Saraki from the All Progressive Congress. PDP, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbodiyan on Tuesday in Abuja, also welcomed the Kwara State Governor Ahmed Abdul Fattah and the Nigerian High Commissioner to South Africa Ahmed Ibeto to the fold. PDP assured all returning members of all the rights and privileges accruable to every member of the party. The National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, has dismissed speculations that he resigned his membership from the party. He told newsmen at the APC Secretariat in Abuja on Tuesday that reports of his resignation trending in the media was untrue. He added that there is no iota of truth in the report. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has detained Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu for alleged fraud and failing to explain how he came to own 22 properties in Nigeria, the United States and the United Kingdom, as well as the United Arab Emirates. It was learned that Mr. Ekweremadu honored the invitation of the EFCC around 9 a.m. on Tuesday, but was still in custody as at 9 p.m. When contacted around 9 p.m., spokesman for the EFCC, Mr. Wilson Owujari, could not say if the senator was still in custody. It was guarded that the Deputy Senate President was under investigation for allegedly owning about 22 properties, some of which he failed to declare in his assets declaration form at the Code of Conduct Bureau. The People's Democratic Party has decried what it called the harassment of Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu. Opposition leaders and voices of dissent by the All Progressive Congress-led federal government. The party, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbodiyan on Tuesday in Abuja, accused the government of misusing the anti-graft and security agencies close to the 2019 general election. Mr. Ologbodiyan said the current development posed a grave threat to the nation's democracy and urged the international community to stop the President Buhari-led administration before it becomes too late. The party was reacting to what it described as a witch hunt against Ekweremadu by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. President Muhammadu Buhari has been elected as the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States. The president was elected to the position on Tuesday during the 53rd session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS in Lomé, the Togolese capital. According to a statement by the Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Garba Shehu, President Buhari has promised to work to take ECOWAS to a greater height. President Buhari praised his predecessor and President of Togo for successfully hosting two important meetings of the Joint Economic Community of Central African States and ECOWAS, as well as the 53rd Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments of ECOWAS. NAPTI says it is adopting technology to combat human trafficking. Addressing press in Abuja, the agency said it is working with its foreign counterparts to place restrictions on prostitution. Plus Africa's correspondent Amadine Uyi reports.
Available estimates indicate that about 12 million persons live in slavery worldwide. Another 700,000 are trafficked across international borders. This is made possible because human trafficking has been ranked by the United Nations as the third most lucrative illegal trade in the world. While there are global efforts aimed at stemming this trade, much emphasis has been placed on Nigeria in recent times. This is because Nigeria is a well-known source, transit, and destination country with many young Nigerians trafficked into Europe and Asia to work as prostitutes in brothels and other places. However, with much effort on ground, Nigeria's agency responsible for curbing human trafficking thinks there is a need for partner nations to enact laws banning prostitution.
If prostitution is legal, it becomes very difficult for you to reduce trafficking because people will tell you, well, I thought I picked up the prostitute, I paid for her services. I did not know I was with a trafficked victim, so it becomes a problem.
NAPTI, known as the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, says much has been done by governments to increase public awareness about the use of prostitution. NAPTI says it has gone further to embrace technology to curb human trafficking by launching an app to boost this war.
The development of the platform was informed by the dire need to scale up the visibility of the agency, enhance seamless and prompt reportage of issues relating to human trafficking, as well as increased mutual participation and interaction of the general public in human trafficking matters.
While human trafficking and prostitution continues to be a menace, NAPTI wants Nigerians to join into the fight against this vice. Amadine Uyi, Plus TV Africa.
Amnesty International has put the number of deaths in Zamfara State since January 2018 at 371. The rights watchdog says thousands of people have been displaced by the conflict between farmers and herdsmen in the state. A statement signed by its media manager in Nigeria, Issa Sanusi, says that insecurity is escalating in Zamfara with daily killings and kidnapping by armed bandits. Mr. Sanusi says that when Amnesty International visited the region, villagers said they had pleaded with the government to help them after receiving warning letters from bandits ahead of the attacks, but had received no protection. Despite claims by the Nigerian authorities to be tackling the situation, the mounting death toll tells a different story. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says plans to amend the constitution to allow land expropriation without compensation will be finalized. He says the reform is of critical importance to the South African government and economy. Recent months have seen growing anger about the slow pace of land reform in the country. South Africa's white minority is believed to have a disproportionate hold over land, with a few thousand white commercial farmers possessing the most fertile lands. However, critics fear expropriation could lead to land grabs, as happened in neighboring Zimbabwe, I beg your pardon. Africa's most populous nation and biggest economy, Nigeria, Eritrea, and Guinea-Bissau, are the only African nations that are yet to make any commitment to the African Union's continental free trade area. According to the African Union Commission chairperson, Faki Mohammed, these three countries have made no commitment to the deal signed in Kigali in March 2018. The AU chief said the body's projection was to have all nations on board as the AFCFTA FTA could enter into force in January 2019. 6 African countries have since ratified the deal, while the vast majority of the countries have only signed it. The 6 are Rwanda, Niger, Chad, Kenya, Ghana, and Switzerland. 3 others, Tanzania, Zambia, and Botswana, have only signed the Kigali Declaration, but are yet to sign the deal and deposit instruments of ratification with the AU. President Donald Trump has suspended Rwanda's right to export clothing duty-free to the United States over Kigali's decision to increase tariffs on imports of used clothing and footwear. The move was seen by many in Washington and Africa as foreshadowing how the Trump administration planned to apply its America First trade ideology on the continent. Despite the suspension, Rwanda will maintain its other duty-free benefits under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, America's flagship trade legislation for Africa. When we return, we will bring you the latest updates on events around the world. Don't go away. The United States federal judge in Seattle has blocked the release of a software which allows consumers to 3D print firearms. Gun Access Advocacy Group Defense Distributed was due to put downloadable gun blueprints online today. The group reached a settlement with the Trump administration in June to allow it to legally publish the instructions. But 8 states and the District of Columbia sued the government on Monday to block the settlement, arguing the untraceable guns were a safety risk. U.S. District Judge Robert Lasnik issued a temporary restraining order halting the release hours before the August 1st deadline, saying the blueprints could fall into the wrong hands. Still from the United States, the U.S. is considering a 25% tariff on $200 billion of Chinese goods, much higher than the 10% it previously indicated it might impose. The U.S. in July published a list of $200 billion worth of additional products to be taxed as early as September. The list named more than 6,000 items, including food products, minerals, and consumer goods such as handbags. It would risk further escalating tensions between the U.S. and China, which are already mad in a trade war. Aeromexico flight AM2431 flying from Guadalupe Victoria International Airport to Mexico City has crashed. The plane, which had 97 passengers and 4 crew aboard, crashed into the capital of Mexico's Durango state. The governor of Mexico, Jose Aspuro, tweeted that there was no deaths among the 101 aboard, although about 85 were injured. The plane crashed close to the airport just moments after takeoff. Authorities said that of the 97 passengers and 4 crew on board, 37 were hospitalized after the crash and 2 were in a critical condition. We'll bring you business reports after this. Don't go away. The Central Bank of Nigeria has warned traders against poor handling of Naira notes, saying the law guiding the notes was still subsisting and violation of the laws could attract jail terms. According to the Assistant Director, Currency Operation Department, CBN, Mr. Benedict Maduago, he says anybody caught mishandling Naira notes would be jailed for 5 years with an option of 50,000 Naira fine. He says if citizens continue to spoil the Naira notes, there will be no money for the commercial banks to give out as loans to customers, and this will affect the economy. Still in business, Royal Dutch Shell and its partners will decide next year whether to go ahead with the development of Nigeria's Bongo Southwest offshore oil field. According to the managing director, Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company, Bayo Ojulari, the project is one of the country's largest with an expected production of 180,000 barrels per day and will generate profit at below $50 a barrel. Mr. Ojulari says Shell is currently negotiating a production sharing contract with the Nigerian government, which will determine the viability of the project, and the negotiations are expected to finish this year. On the activities of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from yesterday, our business correspondent Irene Ubani brings us up to date on all the trades and deals that took place.
The Nigerian stock markets closed on an upward trend as the all-share index rose by 0.19% to close at 37,017.78. On the list of top gainers were Nestle, which rose by 6.52%, gaining 98 naira, while Seplat had a 2.40%, gaining 16 naira 50 kobo. Top decliners were Okomo Oil, which had a 10% decline, and Bitter Glass, which also had a 1.35% decline. Leading the top trades with a 39,647,053 share volume, valued at 1,610,124,069 naira 75 kobo, was guaranteed. On sectorial indices, NSE 30, NSE Insurance, and NSE Oil and Gas rose, while NSE Banking dropped. Equity capitalization was 13.409 trillion naira, and total deals was 5,943. Irene Ubani, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
Still ahead on Plus TV News, so round up on entertainment and sport. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.
And in entertainment, Nigerian-Canadian film director Pascal Atuma's movie titled Sweet Revenge has won Kevin Hart's North American Film Competition in Toronto. 654 movies were submitted for the short films competition, and the best 10 were selected, whilst the top 5 were posted online for public voting before the jury decided on the winner. Pascal Atuma, in his response about the movie, said, "I wanted a multicultural story that would be funny, based on situations and close to the immigrant experience. I wanted a universal story." Although Sweet Revenge was written and directed by Pascal Atuma, the producing was done by Ola George and Warren Beatty. American comedic actor Chris Tucker is set to storm South Africa with his comedy tour. His performance will be in 3 cities, Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg, on the 7th, 9th, and 10th, respectively. Chris Tucker's career gained a drive during HBO's Def Comedy Jam in the 90s before gaining a starring role in 1995 with the movie Friday. In 2006, Tucker negotiated an unparalleled $25 million payment to appear in Rush Hour 3, which made him the highest paid actor in Hollywood at the time. American singer Bobby Brown is promoting his new TV movie titled Bobby Brown: The Story in the same hotel where Whitney Houston died. Brown showed up at Beverly Hilton in California for a Television Association event when he was reminded that Whitney Houston died there. He told reporters upon being reminded that it felt good to be close to Whitney's spirit. He continued by saying, "In that light, it feels good to be here and to promote this movie, to be able to smile and be here with my wife and my kids. Being here is just another notch," he said. He also says about the film that it will right a few wrongs and clean up a few misconceptions about his bad boy past. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko. Starting off with tennis, Johanna Konta inflicted the worst defeat of Serena Williams' career with a thumping first-round victory over the 23-time Grand Slam singles champion at the Silicon Valley Classic. And the British #1 took less than an hour to win 6-1, 6-love in San Jose against Serena, who had never lost a match without winning at least 2 games since turning professional in 1995. And in football, Super Eagles forward Henry Onyekuru failed to rescue Turkish giant Galatasaray, who went down to a 3-2 defeat in a preseason friendly against Greek club AEK Athens at the Olympic Stadium, Greece. That was yesterday. And the striker was replaced by Algerian midfielder Sofiane Feghouli at the start of the second half. He has now featured in 5 preseason games for Galatasaray and has scored 2 goals and recorded 1 assist. And still on football, Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho said he doesn't know when Anthony Martial will link up with the squad after his side defeated Real Madrid 2-1 in the International Champions Cup. And goals from Alexis Sanchez and Andre Herrera earned United the first 90-minute win of their United States trip, but they had to do without Martial in Miami after he left the tour last week to attend to the birth of his daughter. And Mourinho questioned why the French international did not return for Saturday's 4-1 defeat by Liverpool, and Martial has been linked with a move away from Old Trafford, and it is understood the club would be willing to let him leave for a team outside the Premier League. And that's all on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
Thanks, Udoka. And that's our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news update, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us again. My name is Felicity Eziwike, wishing you a lovely day.